How we doing today, YouTube? D-Ski from D-Ski Grillz back with another cooking video. And today we are trying out an experiment using beef Wagyu tallow and letting our brisket rest for 12 hours. So you heard me, right? So beef tallow has been the craze for quite some time now. So what we're gonna do, we know that beef tallow imparts awesome flavor into your briskets. We also know that resting your briskets for a minimum of 2 hours is a must. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna use beef tallow along with resting our brisket for 12 hours and see if we come up with something special. So the seasoning we'll be using for today is the John Henry's Texas Brisket Rub. We're gonna go heavy with that. We have two beautiful 17-pound prime briskets. So folks, this is gonna be an awesome experiment. It will take quite some time. It is Saturday morning. We may not be cutting into these briskets until Sunday morning with that 12-hour rest. So you know what we'll do. I'll take you to the cutting board. I'll show you step by step how we're gonna season. We're gonna get those briskets out there on the Old Hickory Pits ACMM. So I'm all kind of excited because you know how good that grill does with briskets. So at the end, we'll come here, we'll cut the final product on this cutting board, and we'll see if there's any difference by using beef tallow and letting your briskets rest for 12 hours. I wanna thank you as always for joining me, and let's get cooking. Okay, I thought I would take you up close to the cutting board and show you the stars of the show. So here's our two prime briskets. Again, they're right at 17 pounds. This one is 17.47. This one is 16.83. So tomato, right? Close enough. So what we're gonna do is get those trimmed. I will not even waste your time showing you that, but I'll get both of these babies trimmed up real nicely. And we also have our John Henry's Texas Brisket Rub. So we may go through this whole bottle today. We'll see how that works out. Last but not least, we have our Wagyu Beef Tallow, which will be introduced once we bring this in to wrap, okay? So we won't even use this until we build that bark up, get that baby up to around 160, 165 on those briskets. Then we'll introduce the Wagyu Beef Tallow. All right, folks, I thought I'd show you that. I'm gonna go ahead and get some briskets trimmed up. I'll get back with you when it's time to start seasoning. Okay, folks, we're back. I've trimmed both of the briskets. What we're using again is the John Henry's Texas Brisket Rub. This thing is full of your salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic, just the perfect rub to go on these briskets today. So we're going generous. All edges, folks. We want a seasoned, flavorful brisket. Now what I'm doing here, I will do to brisket number 2 as well, but I definitely want to show you the seasoning process here. Just a heavy dose of John Henry, starting on fat side down, and really focusing on the top side of this brisket to make sure we have plenty seasoning and are able to know that we're gonna build an awesome bark. All right, folks, that's the first brisket. I'll do the other one off camera. Just want to show you that. We'll get back together when it's time to get these babies on the grill. Okay, YouTube, we are back. We are at the Old Hickory Pit ACMM. I have the temperature set right now at around 210 degrees, still climbing up to get to 250. I want to go ahead and get these two beautiful briskets on the grill right now, get it shut down and let it coast up to that 250. We're also going to go ahead and add wood. What we're doing, we're adding pecan to today's cook. We'll continue to infuse and keep pecan wood as our fuel source for these briskets, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. You'll also see that I have the Maverick XR50. That's how we're going to go ahead and check our internal temps throughout this cook. All right, let's get this baby opened up. Our briskets are sitting right over to the side. Hopefully you can see that. And we're going to get going. I'm planning on cooking on this third rack right here. I pulled one rack out. I'll bring you in closer and show you that real quick, but I don't want to lose all this heat. So let's move kind of quick here. All right, so all we're gonna do is get this baby up. We're cooking fat side down, and we're going right on in. There she goes. Let's get the other one. I tell you what, these briskets smell absolutely amazing. Look at that. You know that's going to put out an awesome bark. Okay, folks. So our briskets are in place. We're going to shut it down before we lose all our temp. And now we'll go ahead and get our wood added. So let's do that now. Okay, so down at our firebox, we're gonna go ahead and get our ash catcher out. Open up our lid. Now we started this fire with lump charcoal just to get the temperature up to the 250. So as you can see, we have a nice bed of coals working right now. We're gonna come right on in and start adding our wood right on top, all right? Nice splits of pecan is what we have for today. And what we want to do, folks, is go ahead and truly start the infusion process and continue feeding wood off into this pit. All right, that's what we got going on. Maybe I'll turn it this way to be easier to close. There we go. All right, folks, so that's what we got going on. So we'll get back together in about 3 hours, and we should be ready to see how this baby is coming along. I'm really excited about it. This is going to be an awesome cook. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, folks, we're back. We're at about 240 degrees on the Old Hickory Ace MM. It's going to be time to add another log, and we're going to go ahead and check. We are 3 hours into this cook and see how this brisket is coming along. I'm also thinking to do some spritzing as well, so let's see how she's looking. Oh, man, look at that. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Look how beautiful that is. Getting a little dry. We're going to go ahead and add some water and apple cider vinegar. You can see our bark is almost set, and we're also going to go ahead and add some probes and start checking internal temps. So the idea is, once this bark is set, we're going to reach around 165, 170 degrees, bring this baby in, introduce that beef tallow. Ain't this pretty? My Lord. Okay, great spritz job. I'm gonna get her shut back down. We'll get back together once we reach 160 to 165 degrees. See you guys in a bit. Look at that close-up though before we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add the probes from the Maverick XR50. We have the port that I purchased as an add-on. All right, so there's one. And we'll put our second one in there as well. That'll be 2. Okay, let's open it up and get them where they need to go. We'll get it shut back down, start checking our internal temps. Show you where we're at real quick. Okay, hopefully you can see that. We're at 142 on the brisket to the left and 148 on the brisket to the right. So they're cooking pretty evenly. We want to get at least up to 160, maybe even 170 before we bring it in, introduce that beef tallow. So I'll see you guys once we get to the wrapping portion. YouTube, we're back. We're starting to get an overcast. May get some rain coming really soon. Definitely want to show you where we're at now. We're 5 hours in, and what we're doing now is we're trying to push through the stall. Okay, so we were 1 hour at around 162 degrees, and we're just going to stay there. Let that baby push through. As you can see, we're at 164 on the brisket to the left, 162.5 on the brisket to the right. Definitely want to share this with you. We are sitting right at around 238 degrees, close to 240. Still have awesome smoke billowing through the stacks. And hey, we're not in a rush, all right? We're about 5 hours in, 2 17-pound briskets. we are going to introduce this Wagyu Beef Tallow at the cutting board. I've already started prepping my butcher paper, so this will be a quick process. But just want to kind of step in real quick, let you guys see where we're at. And we'll get back together when it's time to wrap these briskets. See you in a bit. Okay, folks, we're back. So you can see now the butcher paper. What I did is I sprayed it with the apple cider vinegar and water to just make it more pliable and easy to work with when we're wrapping these briskets. I'm putting on liners on top of my cotton liners just to make sure I can handle these briskets. So we pushed through the stall. When I pulled them, we were at 165 degrees on one and 167 on the other. So we're in good shape, all right? Now what we're gonna do now, folks, is go ahead and introduce the beef tallow. So here it is, Wagyu beef tallow. Show you the consistency. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some of this good stuff out, get it added right here, and I wanna spread it, okay? Because we wanna infuse that top side of the brisket, not worried about the fat side. We're going for the top side that we worked on that bark, and also that to make sure that we infuse this beef tallow in the top and just continue adding moisture and flavor to this brisket. All right, so here's the idea. The brisket, of course, will sit face side down. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. Get this baby spread out. And I'll tell you what, you're talking about some flavor? That's what we're after right now. All right, so we'll do the second brisket the exact same way, but I just want to show you how we're hooking this one up. I'll bring the brisket into the frame right now so we can get this going, okay? Let me show you this baby so far. Look at the bark on this thing. Amazing, okay? I'm gonna get some light on. You may not be able to see it that well, so let me turn on the light as well for you. All right, hopefully that's showing a little bit better. But what we did is we made a bed of the Wagyu beef tallow. We're gonna add our brisket face side down. You see the bark is already set. All right, here's the top side. We're gonna put this baby down on the beef tallow, just like that. Beautiful color. Okay, so let's go ahead now and start the wrapping process. We're just gonna start right here. And what I wanna do is fold this up. And the reason that we sprayed the butcher paper is to make sure that it's easier to work with, okay? So we bent that. Continue on here. Do the same thing to the other side. Let's get us a nice fold the best we can. Remember, these are 17-pound briskets. Things are huge. And I'll keep working this the best I can, all right? So there we are. I'll pull it back towards me some. And what we want is a tight fold, all right? So here we go. Still not behaving that well. We'll get there. Let's just work it. Okay, right here. And we're gonna get us one more out of it. Let's go one more time, right here. Okay, folks, so that's the first package. We'll do the exact same thing to the other one, and then we're heading back to the grill. Let this baby continue cooking until it reaches, we say 200 to 203 degrees, but ultimately we're gonna let it keep going until it's probe tender all the way through. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, folks, we are back. We are 9 hours into this cook, holding at 242 degrees. One of our briskets is ready. I just probed it. You see it says 203 on the left dial there, 197 on the one to the right. So the brisket to the left inside of the grill is ready. We're gonna bring it in, but let me show you how it looks really quick and before we do that, and then we'll go and do the wrapping in the towel, and in the cooler it goes for 12 hours. So I'll show it to you real fast. Look at this, folks. We got a foggy screen now. I want you to see how this is sweating. Look how it's sweat all the way through. Isn't that amazing? All right, I'll meet you at the cutting board, and then we'll wrap the one right here to the left that's done, and then we'll give this one till it gets to at least 203. But let me just show you how this thing is probing. It's really hot. I should have grabbed something, but it's probing like butter. Yeah, really, really in and out is what it's doing. Yeah, can't break through the paper. The paper's harder than the brisket. Okay, so this one's coming on in. I'll meet you at the cutting board. We'll do the wrap, and just know we'll do the exact same thing to the other one. See you inside. Okay, folks, we're back. So check out our brisket. This is brisket number 1. Again, we'll do the exact same thing to the second brisket. This baby is absolutely flawless when it comes down to being tender, when it comes down to being juicy. You won't be able to see this, but I'm telling you, this thing is packed full of juices. What I'm gonna do is bring it. We're gonna get it wrapped in a towel, but I'm gonna get some foil as well to try to maintain these juices, because it looks like it's all gonna seep out of this butcher paper. So I'll do that now. Lining. Just try to help us with lining the brisket. Try not to lose all the juices, and I'm telling you, this thing is ridiculously juicy. Goodness gracious, it's gonna be a mess. Oh man, look at that. Okay, so we'll do that. What I'm gonna do first is just let it sit here. And since it's gonna rest for 12 hours, I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit, because I don't want it steaming and getting softer. I want it to come down and just stay warm. So we're gonna let it sit here for a while. Then we'll put it in the cooler. I'll just continue to do this here to hold the juices together. And what we'll do is wrap it in the towel, and in the cooler it goes. Let me show you real quick how many juices just came out of that thing. Look at this, folks. I'm saying this is nuts. All right, so we'll get together. I'll show you the whole thing real quick. What we're gonna do is wrap, and in the cooler it goes. That's the plan. But for now, we'll let it come down about 10 or 15 degrees before we wrap it. See you guys in a bit. Okay, folks, we are back. Total time for this experiment was 24 hours. So let's talk about what we did. We started off using the John Henry's Texas brisket rub. We coated that on the 2 prime briskets. Folks, we got this baby on the Old Hickory Pitts Ace MM, and we cooked it until it reached that stall and we got the bark we wanted to achieve. So that was right around 165 degrees. From there, we showed you the concept of adding the beef tallow to the briskets. So we actually pre-soaked butcher paper. We put amounts of the beef tallow and then put the brisket face side down right on top of the beef tallow. Rolled it tightly, back to the pit it went, all right? From there, folks, when it reached the tenderness that we wanted, we brought it in, we wrapped it in this towel, put it in the cooler for 12 hours. So now we're gonna see what the difference is when you use beef tallow, Wagyu beef tallow, plus 12 hours rest. So let's check it out. And this brisket is still warm. After 12 hours, it is still warm. Now I strictly use the foil just to help with retaining the juices of the brisket. All right, we're here, folks. Let's check this baby out. Oh gosh, this thing looks amazing. Look at that. This thing looks wonderful, doesn't it? Looks like our juices all redistributed back into the brisket. I'm gonna try to get this out the way best I can. Here we are. All right, look at the beautiful bark we've achieved. I tell you what, this thing is like Jell-O. You can see this. All right, what we're gonna do is go ahead and get this baby cut and see what she looks like. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We're gonna go right here on a point. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll cut it first, right here. What we can do is view this here together, folks. Let's see what we got here. Look at that. This resting period is so important. Just very, very juicy. I'm gonna bring it over. We're gonna go ahead right now and start cutting some pieces of flat. It's cutting like butter. Our bark is beautiful too. I'm telling you, this resting process seems to be really, really on point. Let's see how we're looking here. Looks really, really good on our flat. I'm gonna do a little quick pull test. Pulls like butter, defined smoke ring. I'm gonna give this a taste real quick. Look at that smoke ring. Okay. Really defined beef flavors, what I get out of this. Okay, so with our point, we're gonna turn it this way, cut it in the middle, and start getting us some slices there as well. This point is always the best. Let's see what we got from the point. Gracious alive. This thing is like butter. Straight butter. Look at that. Beautiful fat rendered down. I'm telling you, it's gonna be absolutely amazing as well. Of course it's pull apart, right? It's the point. All right, let's get a bite of that. Close this video out. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. After 24 hours, what do I think? I think beef tallow is an awesome, awesome addition to help with adding beef flavor and adding tenderness to your brisket. I think the 12-hour rest is not needed. I don't taste that much difference between resting 12 hours more than when I used to just rest 3 to 4 hours. So I don't believe that is really needed. That's at least now. I want to do this with the prime brisket. I want to do this to make sure that I use some of the best that's available to me. So at least I can give a fair assessment on how I think versus the way I usually cook it. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to my channel. Let others know what Grillz is up to. And as always, at Grillz, grilling is not a pastime, it's a passion. Thanks for hanging in there with me for this awesome cook. Beef tallow is good stuff, but resting with 12 hours involved as well, don't think it's needed. I'll catch you on the next one.